It has come to my attention that so many students don't understand how you answer each type of question in GCSE English Language Paper 1. So this video is going to explain how you answer each question to get those top marks. The exam is tomorrow, you don't have any time to waste, so let's get on with it. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe because I'm making these kind of videos every single day for every single one of your GCSE exams. The first question is list 4 things. There is no reason at all you should be losing any marks in this question unless you literally cannot read. It is a list. You do not need to write a paragraph. You can list 4 things. Read the question properly because this is basically the only reason people ever lose marks. They jump into the paper, they're trying to rush. Make sure you read the question properly and make sure you have listed 4 things that are correct. This does not take 4 minutes either. People say a minute a mark. You don't need to waste 4 minutes doing this. Bank up a bit of time for your creative writing. Question 2 is about language devices. It is 8 marks. You need 2 paragraphs, 2 separate points. You are analysing the effect that the writer is having on the reader through the language they have used. So you need to use key quotations and you need to analyse the effect that they are asking about. Not just some random quote that you have picked from the extract because you said, oh, that's a simile. No, they are asking about something specific. Highlight this in the question and pick the most relevant quotation. What effect is the writer trying to have? How does this relate to the rest of the extract? How is this causing an impact? This should not take too long. This should take about 10 minutes because you're only doing 2 paragraphs. And you should not be talking about structure or form in this question. It explicitly says analyse language. Make clear points that answer the question. Identify the language devices used. Explain what connotations the words have and the impact on the reader. This should take no longer than 10 minutes and a lot of people slip up here because they want to write and write and write. 2 points is enough. Question 3 is about structure. How has the writer structured this extract to interest you as a reader? In this question, you should be focusing on the beginning, the middle, and the end of the extract. You do not need to analyse the length of different sentences. You should trace what changes throughout that extract. What has the writer been doing differently? Why does this engage you as a reader? Why does this keep you interested? Do not stand there and say, oh, well, he's used a long sentence here and a short sentence here, because that is not going to get you any marks. This is not about sentence lengths and things like that. It's about how the actual extract is structured. And in order to have a clear picture of that, you need to have properly read it. You need to imagine yourself as a reader, not somebody who's analysing it. Imagine yourself as the reader and think, how is this keeping me engaged? What have they done differently? What is the reader's attention focused on? This is a really key thing that you can take into the exam. Think, what is the writer shifting your attention onto, and how is this keeping you engaged? How does this change throughout the extract? It's so important to read the whole thing and actually gain this holistic idea. It's so important to read the whole extract and make your annotations before you dive straight into questions. Question 4 is to evaluate a statement. This should take a good 20 minutes. To what extent do you agree? This is the first big question, so you really need to think about how you are going to structure it. How many paragraphs and points are you going to make? It is generally recommended to do between 3 and 4 of your structured paragraphs, so whether you use P, peel, petal, pias, whatever it is that you use, try and do 4 of them. Read that statement properly. Do not try and jam in knowledge that you have and things that you picked out of the extract that bear no relevance to the question. This is so tempting to do, but you really do need to answer the question that is asked. They will usually say, okay, a student made this statement, to what extent do you agree? If you are talking about something that has no relevance to the statement that the student has made, then you are not going to get any more marks. Just demonstrating, oh yeah, I know what assonance is. That is not going to get you marks if it has nothing to do with what the student said. You should start this with your opinion. You should say, I wholeheartedly agree, I partially agree, and then you should summarise your big idea in those first few sentences. This sort of guides the rest of your response and you get into the nitty-gritty of why do you agree, why do you not agree. And then in this is where you start analysing the language, the structure, the form. You need to use quotations, you need to analyse the language devices, and you need to do so while thinking about the context of the rest of the text. Why would the writer do this? What are they trying to make the reader feel? What are they trying to get across? This is an incredibly important thing that you need to do in order to get a grade 9, because anybody can say, they've used the simile here, this has got a big impact on the reader, it draws their attention to this. What is the goal of the writer? What are they trying to get the reader to feel? They will specify a section in the question. Do not use any quotations outside of that section because you just won't be marked for it. This is a huge mistake that people make. As well as this, don't just bang in a quote, be sure to always analyse it. Question 5 is your big hitter. It is your creative writing. Writing to describe, narrate, writing a story. This should take a good 45 minutes, but before you just dive into it, please plan what you are about to say. Before anything, you need to decide what person you're writing in. Are you writing in the first or the third person? This is genuinely a mistake that so many people make. They think, okay, I'll write it in the third person, and then they switch over to the first, and then they're in the third again, and it doesn't end up making any sense. An examiner sees this, and they immediately take marks away. In addition to this, people do this by accident, don't realise they've done it, and if you don't read through your work and check, you will have marks deducted from you. Use acronyms to make sure you get a range of descriptive devices and language techniques in there. If you use either aphorist or apromise, whichever you prefer, you will make sure you get a range of different devices in there and that you can reach that top band. I actually have a few of the acronyms here. So apromise is alliteration, personification, rhetorical question, onomatopoeia, metaphors, imagery, sentence length and structures, and then emotive language. Use a variety of different sentence starters using the I-SPACE acronym. I didn't actually know this, but it would have been so helpful in my GCSE English language, but I found it online and I think it will really help you, because the last thing that you want is to be starting every sentence with in the same way and for it to be really boring, like he, she, the, then, something like that. So an ing start can be laughing, whistling, howling, glowing, something like that to describe something. This is a great way to start a sentence. Simile start, so you could say as dark as the night or as bright as the sun, something like this. Prepositional start, so this is saying, this is pinning down a position or a point in time. So you can say up above, next to, below, just before, something like this as a preposition. It can be a point in time or a physical point in space. Adverbial start. So an adverb is when you say suddenly or quickly or slowly, something like this. You can start a sentence in that way and it will keep the reader engaged. Connective start. So you can start a sentence with however or after or meanwhile. This is an option and it just adds some variety to your work. You are not starting the same sentence in every way. And then an ed start, similar to the ing start, you are doing started, parted. This is an option and this can help keep the reader engaged. You can also plan your creative writing ahead of time. I know a lot of people have done this. They come up with story plans or narrative plans. If you think you would find that helpful, then go ahead and do that as a part of your revision. But if you think you can make something up on the spot, then don't worry about it too much. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode of the GCSE series. Okay, bye guys, love you.